go home every night very tired because of the amount of work I do. So I don't really think that, look, our students behind me, because I know that students are behind me, because, you know, if you attend the meetings, I have a good layer of activists around me that are prepared to go out and campaign and, you know, fight for me on this issue. The local paper, if they want to give a voice to the BNP, and if they were, or, you know, they seem
But they're not giving a voice to the BNP, they're literally giving a story about the fact that you have been publicly on Facebook, over 1,000 people want you out.
Every article they've quoted the BNP, and some of the articles where they've said that they haven't been available for comment, which is actually untrue, because they haven't bothered to contact me. Today the Sentinel contacted me, and that's fine. But every time they go out and seem to talk to the BNP party, how about they're talking about the Labour Party representatives, or the Lib Dems, or the Greens, or the Conservatives?
Well, I'm sure they do. As any newspaper has, I mean, I won't go into it, but of course everything has to be balanced.
Yeah.
And so obviously...
We would expect that, but unfortunately the Sentinels are shown otherwise. I think.
But do you think you're balanced? Do you think you express the views of the Conservative Party, the Labour Party, the Green Party? Do you think you express all of them?
But I told you that
because aren't you a member of the Socialist Party?
No, I'm not actually.
You're not.
No,
but you do write for socialist workers' papers.
No, sometimes I write articles, and people.
On a left-wing.
I've also written for the London Progressive Journal, so it doesn't make me, you know, some sort of liberal either.
No,
so I think that also you have to draw a distinction between one is a paper and one journalist producing the stories. Another one is a president with a clear mandate, with a clear manifesto, and I advised you to read my manifesto, and it was very clear on what I stood on. And then say somehow that I should be balanced. Again, let's go back to what is balanced. If I'm saying anti-BNP, does that mean I have to put pro-BNP literature there? And I think then you'd run into very great problems, because then students start feeling uncomfortable with the president pushing out pro-BNP, fascist, racist material.
If many students looked at your views of anti-BNP, and you've done a lot of work with climate change activism, I know that you've done that, and I understand that, you know, you've got passion for an awful lot of very specific issues. However, your views on things like the Olympics, you've mentioned on your blog that you'd boycott the Olympics if it came to, well, when it comes to London. You've also said that the white ruling elite is responsible for most of the problems in today's society, and you've written that yourself, and that's online. For a Students' Union president to say that, do you think seriously that reflects the Students' Union campus? I know that you wrote them before you became president.
Okay, that's fine.
But
before, in terms
does
of
boycotting the Olympics, is that Students' Union? Yeah, do you think that's the opinion to have of a Students' Union president?
That's not the Student Union opinion, and neither is the opinion of the president. It's my personal opinion based on the nature of the Olympics and how it pitches one nation against the other. And it's highly hypocritical sometimes how nations act when Gordon Brown goes to China and says, you know, I advised them and I suggested that they work on their own human rights, when Britain's been involved in extraordinary rendition and we have British citizens locked up abroad illegally in Guantanamo, and Britain hasn't done much about it, when we've been illegally occupying Iraq, and we have troops in Afghanistan involved in the occupation. I think it's highly hypocritical. That's the first off. So as for the ruling elite, if you read my second article, and I hope you did, it talked about the ruling elite everywhere, and it wasn't just based on race. For example,
but you singled out a race.
No, but I said that currently this is an issue. For example, if you went to Africa and you saw the problems of the people there, it would be the ruling elite there, and the ruling elite there would be black. The same Asia, the ruling elite there would be Asian. And what I also said in the article,
finally, Assed,
and it also said in the article is that working class people, white, black and Asian, all suffer. However, black and Asian people suffer racism on top of the struggles that other working class people suffer. And I think that you have to take a broad look at it, and you have to take a look at it.
Would you boycott the Olympics if it came to, if Students' Union wanted to put on the Olympic Games? Would you boycott that? Would you not let the union do it?
No, this is what you have to understand about democracy. It's not my opinion.
I just find it very, very difficult to see a president who can represent anti-fascism and represent these issues. Represent these issues, but then have such extreme viewpoint. It's an extreme viewpoint because it doesn't represent the majority. But surely the majority of a president is to represent the majority. But that's not the issue here. Can I ask you a final question? Can I have this final question?
I want to pick up on the extreme view. Was not the position of giving the women right to vote extreme? Was not the position of giving equal rights to black people in terms of the civil rights movement extreme at that point? Was not the position of Mandela, when he was called a terrorist by Margaret Thatcher, considered extreme? No, what I'm saying is, and what you have to understand about democracy is this, that the union can support the Olympics.
But the union is a democracy. But the union is a democracy.
I'm not going to say this is my personal opinion and therefore the union should boycott the Olympics. That's ludicrous. I would never say that. And I think
but the fact that you hold that opinion, I
hold many opinions.
But
and that's
to publicly put it out there is an opinion. You have the right to do it, right to free speech.
I'm a writer. I do that.
Absolutely, you're entitled to do it. But obviously, it's important to know know.
disagree with
It's
it.
important to know. I have no say on the matter, but it's
You just said
important
it's
to know.
extreme opinion, so obviously you do have
It
a
could
say
be
on that.
deemed as an extreme opinion.
You said it was an extreme opinion. You
Okay.
could roll back the tapes and you can say it could be deemed. You actually said it was.
It could be deemed as an extreme opinion.
You obviously have a position.
Nevertheless, for a student coming to Staffordshire University next year, they Google Staffordshire University in the news, and the headline article is that Students' Union President is doing this, 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 and this, as is what's currently coming up on the news articles now. What type of impression do you think this is going to make to any prospective student?
Depends on the student. Depends on the student. Me myself would look at it.
So you're saying that there's a difference?
As me as myself would look at a prospective student and say, wow, that student union's cool. That president must be the best president in the world.
That's true.
But if I was reading that, but obviously I'm self-praising there.
But for a right-minded person, to see negative comments, do you think that leaves a good impression?
That works on the assumption that I'm not right-minded. However, I think I'm very right-minded, and I think I'm very well-rounded, very intelligent, and I think I'm a brilliant president. I think the union's doing some good work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.